Could you comment more on the election coming? You mentioned presidential elections and parliamentary elections following. So could you comment more on the candidates, how many they are? Do they have really any platforms? How many social issues tackled? And so on. Thank you.
Yeah, very social issues. Okay, so I've been, like I'm saying, I'm just finishing up my master's in television, and I think it can tell you something about the fact that I've gotten a chance to interview all the presidential candidates, basically. They all came to the American University in Cairo, had a week where all the candidates, every day someone would come and talk. Unfortunately, this is my personal opinion, most of them are uninspiring old men. And that's just the summary. You know, to have a president, you either need someone who has very high charisma, or doesn't have charisma but is a strong leader. They lead, they make decisions, people follow. If you can have a leader that has both, that's amazing, but then there's also, you know, this is very corruptible, because a president which has high charisma and is very strong, you know, can manipulate that power later on to, you know, be a dictator. But right now, the presidential candidates are very, there's lots and lots, you know, and actually I think it's not respectful of the kind of you know, we just did a story last week on like this guy, like I had a picture, like someone gave me a flyer and it's like a guy in like a bodybuilder and he's like, vote for me, president. And he's actually running, you know, and we talked to him and it's very like honestly, really, you know, there's a television presenter, she's been a television presenter, she's 50 maybe, and she's running for president. And I'm like, what qualifications do you have to run for president? You know, you're a television presenter, you know. I was interviewing her and she was like, please hold my lip gloss in the bathroom. And I'm like, you know, it's just this is what we've been waiting for, you know, a presidential candidate who's telling me, please hold my lip gloss, and she's like cussing on anyway, we don't want to get into, but basically the candidates, there's a lot of rhetoric, you know. I was interviewing this one guy. I wasn't the anchor that day. I was in the control room, and I didn't actually realize that two of the people from his campaign were sitting there. So I was making fun of the guy because he's like, was all like, I will not be president. It will be the Egyptian people who are president. You know, the power will be derived from the citizens, and it's all this beautiful, you know, narrative. And Egyptians or Arabs in general, we're known for, like, we call it, you have a tongue made of honey, asal, like so sweet. You can say, you know, talk and talk and talk, and it'll sound very, very, very good. So yeah, after the interview, the campaigners came to me, like, I see you're not very excited. Please, here's my platform. Here's his platform. But anyway, so the candidates. I would say Baradei definitely has a very good shot, especially with youth. And the strong point for Baradei is that he's been very consistent. He's been very well known from even before anyone even imagined this could happen. He's been against the regime. He's been very outspoken. He's been, yeah. Hamad al-Baradei, head of nuclear. Yeah, so whether it was, you know, he has a Twitter account, at least maybe that's a little, it's very bardo, pompous and, you know, very in English, which I always thought was very, but anyway, he's liked, you know. I was at a dinner, a lunch a couple of weeks ago, and he was like invited, so we were at lunch, and he was with me on the table, and he was very kind of, I don't know, I feel he's a good, sincere man. But still, the problem is that there are other candidates that are not so well liked. Amr Moussa, for example, Secretary General of the Arab League, very much seen as, you know, there's a lot of clips on YouTube now of him just like 6 months ago. We should all vote for Mubarak. Mubarak is good. You know, we love Mubarak. Mubarak is, so a lot of people see that as hypocritical, that, you know, you're now and you're all like, oh no, the system was bad, bad, bad. But that's not bad, because a lot of people honestly have ridden this wave. Like, really, so many people were just suddenly, I knew all along, you know, I was supporting it deep down inside. The problem is that, like I was saying, our political system didn't really ever give someone an ability to really work in the political system, you know, and youth, this was our hope, you know, that there would be young people who would be, and hopefully they will take positions, you know, whether it's advisory positions, to start participating in this political kind of sphere, that it's not just all old men. But the problem is, again, we're very, very unused. It's a very game, you know. I was interviewing Wael Ghanem also like a month ago, and I was so disappointed because it was maybe naive of me to hope that just because he'd been put in a position where suddenly he'd gained instant, you know, like, khalas, Wael Ghanem is known all over the world, the guy of the revolution. People kind of ignore the fact that the person who actually created a video calling for protests on January 25th was actually a 16-year-old girl, high school student. She created a video, Asma Mahfouz, and she said, you know, you should all go out to the streets on January 25th. This is police day. This is hypocritical. Why are we like celebrating police day? We should all go out and protest. And if you're a man, you should come with me. And it was this video that he took and he posted and he started circulating the movement. And also in 2008, our protests were also by women, also initiated by a woman. But anyway, so the problem is because our political system never allowed people to kind of explore what politics meant, we don't even know what really lobbying is or how to campaign. So the candidates don't really have a platform. You know, we're starting, I just saw last week like a video that was like 30 seconds, you know, why you should vote for al-Baradei. But even then, it's still so new. It's still, you can tell, like I got calls from, and I'm a journalist, right? I shouldn't like be, you know, do you want to join this person's campaign? Or I have a friend of mine who worked for me at the same magazine. And he's like, yeah, so I've been interviewing al-Baradei and Amr Musa. He's been interviewing, you know, to choose which campaign he should join, which campaign as a social media activist or as an understanding. Because honestly, the people are all they're old, you know, like even Ahmed Shafiq, the prime minister, during when he was a prime minister for maybe 30 days. So I got a call from his government and they're like, so we wanted to create this committee of youth who understand what this Twitter and the social media is and can talk to young people so we can tell you what to say and you can tell them what we're saying. So I turned it down, but just the idea that they need a link, they need young people. So we need young people, but unfortunately, so Wael Ghunaima interviewed him, he wasn't very, you know, you could tell that he wasn't obviously going to go into politics or in a way that would create any kind of substantial youth following or to create. So it's going to take us a long time. So I'm not really optimistic right now, but I don't even know if they're going to happen in 2012. Maybe the military will decide to postpone them again. And even if they do happen, I really don't think it's going to be decisions made based on political platform, whether it's the agenda. It will be based on, you know, he's a good man. It'll be based on kind of campaigns that are, you should vote for him because it's the right thing to do. It will be based very much on, you know, whoever leaders, whether it's the priests or the imams, because Egypt is still a very kind of conservative society. You know, the leaders are whoever is in a position of religion, telling them, you know, that this guy is good, so they'll be like, okay, we'll go vote for him. This is how it will happen if it happens. Maybe it's a little pessimistic, but this is what will happen. So maybe what we do need is an interim president for, you know, 4 years or something, until real candidates can actually start, you know, to work in and we can see on the ground what their campaigns or their social work has actually, you know, given birth to. You know, there's a Muslim Brotherhood member who's actually running, but he's running as an independent because the Muslim Brotherhood has said that they will not actually have a candidate during these elections. So Muslim Brotherhood's always been popular because of their social work, you know, because of the work that they've done, the grassroots organizations. They provide people with services, and that's what people need, you know, and this is the end. So it'll be very interesting to watch, you know, whether we'll have a presidential campaign and race and like flyers and posters, or whether it'll just, you know, fizzle out. We shall see.